My first experience with trying to set goals was all the way back in high school. I really had two main ones. First, work out and get shredded, and the second, get straight A's for at least 1 year of high school. I had always been a pretty skinny kid and I was kind of bullied for it. And in terms of the straight A's, I had always been a relatively good student, but I had never been able to achieve a full year of straight A's. I of course was super motivated and I got started as soon as I could. I would do these long study sessions where I crammed for like hours at a time, and then I would also do push-ups and squats until I was so sore the next day that I could barely move my limbs. And you know what happened? I didn't hit my goal of getting straight A's until my senior year of high school. And I also never ended up working out consistently until my senior year of college. Why was it so hard for me to achieve these goals even though I really wanted them? But it didn't matter. The motivation aspect of it wasn't enough to keep me to stick with the goals. This was because I was setting the wrong kinds of goals and trying to achieve them completely wrong. So in today's video, I'm going to go over what you should focus on when you're setting goals, as well as a reliable system that I've been using for the past few years to set my goals, achieve them, and move towards the life that I've always wanted. The system that I'm going to go over is comprised of multiple individual parts, and I will go over each of those parts individually, and then at the end give an example where I pull it all together. So please watch this video all the way through to get the most value from this video. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Tyler Warlow. I go by the Mengineer, and I am here to help you engineer your life. If you want to build your confidence, capabilities, and overall happiness, please feel free to hit that like and subscribe button and join me on this self-improvement journey. Now let's jump into the video. A lot of people struggle to set goals. That's because there's a few key issues that come up again and again. One of those being setting goals based on external factors. And just to give an example here, we're gonna talk about YouTube. A lot of people jump on YouTube and start making videos, and they'll set goals of, I wanna hit 1,000 subscribers so that I can get monetized. The problem with that is this is based on factors that you personally can't control. What you should really focus on doing is setting goals based on things that you can control. And continuing to touch on the YouTube example, a better goal for you to try would be setting a goal for how many videos you're gonna put out each week. For myself personally, I set a goal of putting out one new video every single week on Friday. Now, if you focus on these systems that you set in place rather than the external factors, those external factors will eventually come. Now that we've got that main area covered, let's jump into that system that I talked about. And that's gonna be setting SMART goals. What are SMART goals? SMART is an acronym, and it stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. I'm gonna focus on each of these areas individually, and then at the end, provide an example of a goal that meets this entire system. Jumping into S, or specific, you wanna set a goal that is as specific as possible. There's a lot of ways that you can achieve general goals. So you can waste a lot of time and energy and ultimately be left feeling pretty demotivated because you don't really know the right path to your goal or really what your end goal is. I'm going to specifically ask you to smash that like button again. It really does help to promote the channel and spread the word, so I really appreciate it. If you're enjoying the content or you find it useful, again, please go ahead and smash that like button. Continuing on with the specific part of setting goals, you kind of want this part to answer the 4 W's. The first being what, and this is your goal. So what do I want to do? The second being why. Why is this goal important to you? Number 3 is who. Who is going to be involved? Is this goal something specifically just for you that only you can work on? Or are you going to need to bring other people and other resources into this goal as well? And finally, where might you be working on this goal? Where do you need to go? If it's studying based, do you need to go to the library or will you study in your dorm? These are the 4 questions that you want to try and answer with the specific part of the acronym. The next thing that we're going to jump into is M, or measurable. You want to have a tangible result that you can measure and track the progress of. If you don't have something that you can track or that you can actually meet and have an end goal of, it makes a goal really demotivating and difficult to understand where you might really be in your progress. By making it measurable, you're able to keep track of your progress See where you started, where you are currently, and how much further you have to go. The next thing that you want to do is have the A part met, or attainable. What do I mean by attainable? This needs to be a realistic goal that you can meet. Otherwise, you're just setting yourself up for failure. If you set goals that are unattainable and really difficult to meet, you're gonna fail to meet them. And if you fail to meet goals over and over again, you kind of start to get into this mindset of, well, why the hell should I even do it? It's not worth setting goals because I never meet them. That's not true at all. It's just that you're setting your goals too high. You want your goal to be a little bit challenging, but still within reach for you. For example, let's say you're trying to run a race. Let's say you just started running. You don't want to set a goal of trying to complete a marathon in 6 months if you just started running. That would set yourself up for injury, set yourself up for failure. Instead, you might want to set a goal for running a 5K, or maybe a couple 5Ks within the year. That's something that you can train for. There's tons of programs out there that have kind of a couch to 5K moment where you can train for that in 3 months realistically without hurting yourself and have a set plan in place. You want those goals to be attainable so that way that when you do achieve them, you can build upon that momentum and continue setting goal after goal after goal and kind of build off that success and continue to set higher and higher goals. The next part we're going to talk about is setting goals that are relevant. Why am I setting this goal? Does this goal really pertain to me and my lifestyle currently? Is there anyone else that might be involved or impacted by this goal? And is this going to be positive for them as well? You want your goal to align with you and your values or what you're working towards. Otherwise, the goal is only going to be mentally draining and detrimental to you. You want to have a goal that excites you because there's always going to be hard days when it comes to the goal. But by having something that aligns with something that you truly want, that can help you to push through those hard days and keep working on it. The final part of the acronym that we're going to talk about is T, or time bound. This is as simple as setting a deadline for your goal. This helps to create a sense of urgency to help you work towards this goal. For our procrastinators in the room, this can really help because if you don't have any sort of deadline, you'll put it off as long as you can. Versus if you do have a deadline, as you get closer to it, you're gonna start getting that nervousness and that anxiousness that you get when you do procrastinate and start working on it harder. By giving yourself a specific timeline to work towards, you can also then break the goal down into smaller, even more achievable steps that are based on smaller timelines that can meet your greater overall timeline. Basically, what do I need to do today versus what do I need to do this week or next month? You can break down the goal even further. Now that we've got that covered, I said that I was going to cover an example. Some common goals that a lot of people tend to have are, I want to save money, I want to get in shape, I want to advance my career, I want to travel more. Do you see the problem with these? The problem with these is that they're way too general. It's like, great, you want to do these things, but how are you going to do them? Let's jump into one of these, which is the save money, and break it down into a SMART goal. Get specific with the amount of money that you want to save. Is that $5,000? Is that $10,000? Figure out that number for you. What are you saving towards? Are you trying to set up an emergency fund, or are you saving towards buying something like a house? Figure out that number and specify it. And then that way you have a goal that you're working towards, a specific number, rather than I just want to save money. And this way you can jump into the next part of this system and be able to have something to work towards. With measurable, you're setting the end goal of money. You can measure that. You can measure how much you're contributing each month towards that goal, and you can also measure your progress towards that goal. By having the dollar amount and also setting how much you are contributing each month, you're giving your goal the measurable aspect. A for attainable. Ensure that whatever amount that you've chosen to save is attainable to you. Because let's say that you're living close to paycheck. Is trying to save for a 20% down payment on a house really attainable for you right now and your career? That might not be the best thing to set a goal for. Rather, you might want to break it down into something smaller. If you are living paycheck to paycheck, set a goal of maybe 1 month of expenses saved up. And then once you meet that, you can set it for 2 months and work towards that. Now, going into the relevancy of setting this goal, you might want to make sure that you're saving towards stuff that's actually relevant to you and your lifestyle. Let's say that you are someone that really enjoys traveling and you're really not at home much. Going back to that down payment, why would you be saving towards a 20% down payment if you enjoy traveling all the time? That's just gonna kind of be draining for you because you're not really gonna be putting that money towards things that are beneficial to you. Instead, that person might wanna save more money towards traveling. That way they can do more of what they love and encourage their lifestyle. And then finally, for time bound, we're gonna set a deadline for the end of the year. So what's the full goal that we can come up with that meets all these criterias based on saving? I'm gonna say, I wanna save $5,000 by the end of the year by putting aside $200 per month. This person already has a little bit in their savings. I can also reduce my spending by tracking my expenses and identifying areas to cut down in. See how much more detailed that goal is compared to just the simple goal of saying, I wanna save more? This really provides a roadmap and a starting point for you to jump off of, so that way that you can set yourself up for success. Now the thing about this is, it is still on you to execute towards that goal. Just because this system is in place does not guarantee that the goal will be met. It is still up to you to go after the goal with the system that we set up. So just to summarize the video for you, SMART is an acronym that stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. By setting a goal that meets each one of these categories, you're setting yourself up for future success. But for now, that brings us to the end of the video. If you have any ideas or questions that you would like to ask, please feel free to leave a comment down below. And if you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. If you found this video interesting, you might find my video where I talked about my goals for 2023 interesting. And as always, if you're interested in my more recent stuff, I will have my most recent video right here. Until the next video, this is the Mengineer, signing off.